Okay, good evening. Welcome to ten-tec Television. My name is Scott Robbins, W4PA. I'm the Amateur Radio Product Manager for ten-tec Incorporated. It is 5 o'clock Eastern Time, 2200 GMT, on a very rainy day here in Sevierville. Today we're going to talk about the 1300 series QRP CW transceiver kits that ten-tec offers. These little kits have been out now about 10 years or so, and they were reviewed in QST magazine a few years ago and actually hold the record for the lowest composite phase noise of any transceiver that the league has ever reviewed. It's a good little radio. They are single band QRP rigs that are available for 20, 30, 40, and 80 meters. 3 watts output, CW only. QSK, 1 kilohertz crystal filter for CW bandwidth. Pretty minimal controls, just a main tuning knob, volume control, RIT. What I'm going to do is show the insides of the rig, tune around a little bit, show you how the QSK works, etc. Get a shot of the rig here on the front. You can see that the front panel is fairly straightforward. We've got a 1/4-inch phones jack up on the upper left side. Volume knob. Main tuning knob you see here. So we can find a signal to listen to. RIT control. We are currently listening to 40 meters here. This radio is connected to a G5 RV antenna out in the front yard here at ten-tec. Power switch on the front. Back controls are pretty straightforward. There is an SO239 antenna connector on the back panel. And you can see that there is a row of 3 RCA phono connectors. One is 12 volts DC input, one is 12 volts DC output, so you could, for example, run a small accessory up to a couple of 100 milliamps max off the output jack. And then the third one, where there's a black cable plugged into it at the moment, is the key jack. And I have a straight key plugged into it at the moment. Okay, so you can hear what the receiver sounds like here. So show a shot of the front again. The radio has 50 kilohertz of band segment available. You determine where you want the 50 kilohertz to be as you're building the kit, determined by coil winding. And there are, of course, instructions in the manual how to do that. Let me see if I can do a shot of the manual here. For example, I'll hold this up. This is typical of what the manual looks like. There are circuit descriptions for each phase of construction. And then as you go through these, you have a pictorial of the board for each phase. You can see here. There is a parts list for each phase. As you install each component, you can see that there is a checklist that says, for example, install with this step capacitor C23, capacitor C27, C34, etc. Got a little pictorial here on coil winding, right here where my finger is. Essentially, we've tried to emulate some of the kit manuals of the past in the step-by-step instructions. You do a progress test as you get to the end of each phase to make sure you've done that part of the construction correctly before we move on to the next step. Okay, so on the air, we get a shot of the front here again. You can hear the receiver. Let me tune off to where there's no signal here for a second. Transmitting, I'm sending with a straight key now. Full break-in CW. You can hear, for example, okay, there's a signal. Well, there was a signal. All right, that sounds like W1AW. Okay, so I'm going to give a quick little tap on the key here. You can see, you can hear the receiver CW in between me and sending to give you an idea of how the QSK works. Okay, so let's take a look at the inside of the case. Let me turn the power off because I'm going to pull the cover off. Okay, I will now take the top cover off. You can see we've got the microphone for audio here for that. I'm going to take this off carefully because you can see there's a speaker wire right here that if you pull it too hard, you can rip it right off either the speaker mount or the phone's jack that's located here. Okay, inside the case itself, you see we got our 4-pole crystal filter here for 1 kilohertz. You can see the DC power wiring. This coil right here that has a bunch of hot glue on it is the one that's used for the primary frequency control. Let's see, we're going to move the camera here just a little bit. Over here, there is a variable side tone. Ooh, that's a little bit too close. Variable side tone is done by this potentiometer right here. You can stick a little tuning tool in there to be able to adjust the side tone volume up and down. The board itself, you can see that there's roughly about 200 components. You install all the components piece by piece onto the board. You do all the mechanical construction like putting the sheet metal together, etc. You can see here on the back panel we've got a sheet metal heat sink, and there's the output power transistor that's bolted to it right there. That then in turn leads to the output connector on the back. This is a varactor diode arrangement. We've got a potentiometer here as the front main tuning knob, and 10K pots also for volume and RIT controls here as well. The construction of this kit is not particularly difficult. We don't necessarily recommend this for a first-time kit building project. However, if you can solder and identify components, you probably could get this together. We estimate the build time for this particular kit at around 15 hours or so, and it's an intermediate level kit. Okay, I'm going to put the cover back on, and I'm going to turn the power back on. What I'm also going to do here is let you hear what the CW sounds like on a separate receiver. We've got here right in front of me the Orion 2 on the 40 meter band. Now, one thing that's a little bit tricky with this kit is there's a logging scale on the front panel. You can see, let me move this back over, 1 through 10 on the main tuning knob. Now, unless you have a good idea of where it is you've set this kit for and where the numbers are on the logging scale, you won't know exactly where you are. Now, you could put a little white dot of paint, I suppose, on the main tuning knob or a sticker or something like that as an indicator. However, we're going to do this the random route because I honestly don't know where on the CW band the top and bottom on this particular kit is. It was built by one of our technicians a couple years ago. We've had it out here in the lobby as the sales demo, and I didn't bother to sit down and figure out where it was top to bottom. So what I'm going to do is I am going to set this somewhere in the middle, and then I'm going to tap some code out on the CW key I have here and see if I can find myself on the band. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Boy, nice and loud. Let's stick some attenuation in there. Turn the side tone down on the rig. That might help a little bit. These kits are available through our sales department. They run $99 per band. It's certainly an economical way to get on the air. We have sold lots of these over the years. I would encourage you to look at the QST review and see what this is all about for yourself. If you're a ARRL member, you can go to the ARRL members only website and you can read all about these rigs. Any questions you have on them are certainly available for viewing on our website. Okay, I'd like to say thanks very much for listening for our presentation today on ten-tec Television. Again, my name is Scott Robbins, W4PA, Amateur Radio Product Manager at ten-tec. You can give us a call at 800-833-7373 or visit us on the web at www.tentec.com.